Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are doing great. I am Neha Rajvanshi and I welcome you all in today's class, that is English class of class 8th. So students, in the previous video we have completed reading with our poem number 5 from the book Honeydew. The name of the poem is The School Boy. So yes, we have seen the explanation part and we have discussed all the literary devices that are there in the poem. So now I am very much sure that the poem, explanation part and all the poetic devices, everything is clear to you all, and the message that this poem is having, that is also there with you, right? So in today's video we will see the comprehension part, we will solve the questions, but first of all we will start our video with the summary of the poem so that one more time we can revise the central idea of the poem. So now let's begin with the summary. So let's read the summary. The poem The School Boy is about an unhappy schoolboy. So in this poem, that is The School Boy, we are having one boy and that boy is a school going boy, and that boy is very much unhappy. He is in a very sad mood. The poem focuses on the downsides of formal learnings, and after reading the poem we can say this thing, that this poem actually focuses on the downsides, or we can say this poem is having its entire focus about the negative aspects that are there in the formal learnings, right? So जो formal learnings होती है उनके क्या क्या downsides होते हैं, और we can say जो उसके negative aspects होते हैं. So yes, in the poem we are having these things. The boy loves the summer mornings when he has the sweet company of birds' songs and huntsmen's horns. So the boy that is there in the poem, so he actually loves the summer mornings. Why? Because in summer mornings he is having the sweet company, and sweet company here means he is having the enjoyable, or we can say the pleasurable company of birds' songs and huntsmen's horns. So when in early morning there are birds and all the birds they are singing, and huntsmen are there and they are blowing their horn. So when the boy he is there at his home only and he is listening these sounds, he is listening this music, so yes, at that time he is very much happy, and for him this is the very sweet company, this is very enjoyable and we can say pleasurable company for him. He enjoys such beautiful and pleasant mornings. So yes, he actually loves, he actually enjoys such morning that are so beautiful, that are so pleasant and enjoyable. But when he has to go to school on such mornings, same mornings torture him and deprive him of all the joy. So next in the poem we have read this thing, that when the same boy he is going to school, he has to go to school, so at that time the same morning torture him, right, and deprive him of all the joy. So yes, the boy is the same, the mornings are the same, but when he is at home, so he is so much happy and he loves summer mornings, he enjoys summer's morning. But when he is there in the school, so the same morning torture him, he finds no joy in the morning, and all these mornings deprives him from all the joy. For him all the lessons taught in the school are uninteresting and having no happiness. And now he is in the school, so in the school obviously there are teachers and teachers are teaching him, okay, so all the lessons that are taught in the school, so he is finding no interest, he is finding no happiness in the lesson. So yes, he is not at all interested in school, he is not at all interested in any of the lessons, and all the lessons they are having no interest, they are having no happiness for this boy. He just gets bored. So this is the reason that in the school he is he is only a bored person and he gets no enjoyment, no happiness, nothing in there in the school. The poet compares that boy with a bird that is caught in a cage, and then after presenting the situation of the boy, now the poet he is presenting one comparison, and in this comparison the poet is comparing the boy with a bird, the bird that is caught in a cage, okay. So the schoolboy who is there in the school and who is very much unhappy, who is having no interest, no happiness in the school, so that boy is being compared with a bird that is caught in a cage. A bird who is born to be happy cannot sing in a cage. And next the poet he is presenting this idea that a bird who is born to be happy, so that bird cannot sing in a cage, because if you you bound any of the bird in a cage, if you caught any of the bird in a cage, so obviously that bird is not at all happy. So at that time, that bird won't sing, it's a song in a happy mood. Similarly, a boy cannot enjoy his youth days if he is having no fun time. So in the similar manner, a boy, or we can say a child, he cannot enjoy his youth days when he is having no fun time. In the end of the poem, there is a message for all the parents. And now, after presenting this comparison very successfully, the poet is able to convey the message. And here in this poem, the message is for the parents especially. The poet says that if birds are destroyed at the early stage of development, then flowers will not blossom. And again, the poet is presenting some comparison, and he is saying that if the birds they are destroyed at the early stage of development, right, then the flowers they will not blossom, because अगर आप birds को ही destroy कर दोगे, so birds कैसे grow करेंगी, कैसे वो develop होंगी, और वो कैसे flower में turn होंगी. Similarly, the youthful days of a child should not be snatched, otherwise he will not grow happily or efficiently. So in the similar manner, the youthful days of a child, those days should not be snatched. Why? Otherwise he will not grow happily or efficiently. So again, the poet he is presenting this comparison, and he is saying अगर आप birds को ही destroy कर दोगे, so how those birds they will grow into flowers. Similarly, if you snatched all the happiness, all the fun time from the child, then obviously they will not grow in a happy manner, or we can say in a sufficiently manner, in a satisfactory manner. The overall development of a child is important. So yes, this is the message that this poem is having, that we always should have our focus on the overall development of a child. So yes, knowledge is important, yes, study is important, but at the same time, the overall development of a child, that is the most important thing. Parents should not put the burden of studies on students. So yeah, this is the reason that all the parents they should have this learning, that never ever they should put the burden of studies on students, on their kids. But education should be interesting, and school should focus to help the kids to grow and develop as a multifaceted personality. Okay, so what should be there, what is the thing that is required, that is necessary? So that thing is that education it should be interesting, right? So education system ऐसा होना चाहिए जहाँ पे जो kids हैं they should enjoy, they should love to go to school. So that should be the education system. It should be very interesting, and all the school they should focus to help the kids to grow and develop as multifaceted personality, right? So उन्हें केवल book worm नहीं बनाना है, only bookish knowledge पे focus नहीं करना है, but schools जो है वो ऐसे होने चाहिए जहाँ पे हर तरह की activities हो, and all the kids they should have the opportunity to participate each and every activity, so that they can develop, they can grow as multifaceted personality. So this should be the education system, and the role of the parents that should be that they should help their kids to grow, to develop as multifaceted personality. And the education system, or we can say the school, they should also do the same thing. And this is the message that this poem is having, and the poet very successfully he is able to convey this message with the help of this poem. So now I am very much sure that the poem is very much clear to you all. The message that this poem is having, that is also clear to you all. And now let's start with all the question answers. So let's see the first one. Find 3 or 4 words, or we can say phrases, in stanza 1 that reflect the child's happiness and joy. So in this question we have to read the first stanza of the poem one more time, and then we have to pick out, then we have to write 3 or 4 words, or we can write phrases also, that shows the child's happiness and joy. Okay, but only from the stanza 1. So let's see the answer. The words, or we can say phrases, that reflect the child's child's happiness are. So now we are writing the words or phrases that actually reflect, that actually show that yes, the child is very much happy, he is actually having a lot of joy. So let's see. First is the song of birds, second is the distant huntsman's horn, next is the skylark sings, and the next one is sweet company. So these are the phrases, these are the words that actually show that the child is very much happy when he is there at his home and when he is having the sweet company of birds songs and huntsman's horn, and he actually enjoys, he actually loves all these music. Next question, in stanza 2 the mood changes. Which words or phrases reflect the changed mood? So now in this question we have to talk about stanza 2. So we all know that in stanza 2 the mood of the child, it suddenly changes. In the stanza 1 the child is very much happy, he is in a very happy mood, but in stanza 2 we have read that there is a sudden change in the mood of the child. So now we have to write the words or phrases that reflect the changed mood. So let's see the answer. The words, phrases reflecting the child's mood are, so in the second stanza the words, or we can say the phrases that reflect the changed mood of the child, that are, let's see, drives all joy away, cruel eye outworn, or that eye we can say of the teacher, and next is sighing and dismay. So in the first stanza the child is very much happy, but in the second stanza he is in a deep sadness, he is in a very sad mood, and these are the words, these are the phrases that actually reflect his current mood. Next question, a cruel eye outworn, and this phrase is from stanza 2. So now this phrase refers to, so in this question we have to explain this phrase, that is a cruel eye outworn, and we have read this phrase in stanza 2. So now we are having some of the options. So let's read the options. The classroom which is shabby, or we can say noisy. Second is the lessons which are difficult or uninteresting. Third is the dull, uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. So we have to mark the answer that you consider right. So after reading the poem, what is your idea, that you know which option will be the most suitable one to explain this phrase, the cruel eye outworn? So our answer is number third, Russ. So it means, you know, the dull, uninspiring life at school with lots of work and no play. So here a cruel eye outworn, it means, you know, जो स्कूल में जब ये child जा रहा है, so there he has to attend so many lectures, so many lessons that are totally dull and uninspiring, right? And their entire time he has to work, he has to study, and no play time is there, no fun is there. Next is, no sit in learning's bower won't throw with the dreary shower. Which of the following is a close paraphrase of the lines above? So in this question also we are having one line from the poem. So let's read the line first. The line is, no sit in learning's bower won't throw with the dreary shower. So again we are having some of the options, and we have to tell that, you know, which option is having a very close relationship with this line. Okay, so we have to choose that option that explains this phrase in a very suitable manner. So let's see the options. First is, nor can I sit in a roofless classroom when it is raining. Second is, nor can I learn anything at school though teachers go on lecturing and explaining. Next is, nor can I sit in the school garden for fear of getting wet in the rain. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is the option second. So yes, it means that nor can I learn anything at school though teachers go on lecturing and explaining. So yes, in the school there are so many lectures, so many lessons, one after another, that it seems that, you know, it is showering, right? And the child, he is unable to have any interest, any happiness there in the school. So students, we have completed all the question answers that are there in the poem. I hope the poem explanation part, all the poetic devices and the question answers, everything is clear to you all. And in the next video, we will start reading with our next chapter. See you in the next video. Thank you.